Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to who knows what episode, because we've been recording so many episodes this week. I am the mutant Trask now.
Ooh, I am the magic Taylor Field.
You see what I did there? Because the non-spoilers, my name was new, and now in the spoilers, it's mutant.
Oh, that's perfect. See? Yeah.
Full circle. Taylor, where can they find us on the interwebs before we get into the spoilers review? Because this gives you time, if you've clicked on this and you go, oh, is this the New Mutants review? I can listen to that before I seen the movie. No, that's the one. Probably earlier in the feed. Check out that. Check out the non-spoilers 10 one. If you've seen Tenet, whether it's now or in a few weeks, go check it out. Where can you check that all out, Taylor Field?
With internet connection, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us Geekverse Podcast in the search bar. Find us on Facebook, Geekverse. Find us on Twitter, GeekverseCast. Find us on our home turf, geekverse.ca, ladies and gentlemen. You can find lots of awesome stuff there, up-to-date content. And you want to be sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive tiers and rewards.
Ad-free episodes, early episodes, exclusive episodes, the whole shebang. So you want to go there. And then we'll have Avengers review coming up, the video game, The Boys, the 1 to 3 episodes. What else is coming up? Mulan, that's going to be Taylor. And then September 12th, wrestling match number 2. Taylor thinks he can put those fists up all he wants, but that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop my Demon Bear from coming out and just chomping you. So, yeah, this is the spoilers review for New Mutants. Go back and listen. If you want just some overalls, we're going to get into spoilers now. Where do you want to start with this?
I don't know. Do you want to start with the story or do you want to start with the story after?
No, that's it. Everyone have a good night. I hope you enjoy the spoilers. Everyone see. Well, we probably should start with the story before. So this is the prelude in the movie. So we go to see New Mutants, and I'm sure it's in Canada, but there's an app called Skip the Dishes, and maybe America you have something like this as well. It's a food ordering app service where you'll order fast food or something like that, and they'll bring it to your door. Maybe not fast food, just any food, and they'll bring it to your door from a restaurant. And Taylor, being the good fiance he is, he orders some food right before the movie, and he tells his fiance that, keep checking. Any minute now, there's going to be food on the porch. Save me some gyozas. It's going to be a good surprise for you. So we see New Mutants. It's about 2 hours later because there's previews, movie's an hour and a half. And then when I check my phone for my fiance, I got a text saying, hey, did you order sushi? And I've not heard the story that Taylor did about ordering food. So we go all the way back to DC Fandom. Check out our coverage. Check out the Geek Ultimate Alliance podcast feed. That's our podcast network. Tons of shows. 8 shows a week. They're starting in September. There's 6 right now. So... So I say, oh, this is weird. I have sushi at my place. And then Taylor's face just drops. He's like, oh my goodness. So Taylor, because at DC Fandom, ordered some blizzards. His Skip the Dishes was still set to go to my place. So he sent off the order. The food came, hoping it was going to his fiance, and then it came right to my place, and it was just sitting on the porch, in the fridge. But what did she have to say once you got home? And because my question was, he said, keep checking the porch, will be any minute there. So what happens like an hour later when she was still, there's no food?
Well, when I dropped Travis off here moments ago, and I took the food back to my place, and I asked her, I said, so, did you check? And she's like, yeah, I checked multiple times. And I what went through your head? She said, well, I thought you just didn't order me anything. I'm like, damn, well, I feel like such
reconsidering
a jerk.
the proposal.
She was
right
reconsidering it all because I roped her in. I sent her a text. I'm
in
like,
the proposal.
let me know when you get home. And she's like, okay, I'm home. I was like, okay, keep checking the door. I'm ordering you dinner, so you don't have to worry about it. And that was at like 7 o'clock. And then I sent another text saying, oh, save me a couple gyozas.
Just
and then, 9:30 rolls around. Yeah, rubbing it. 9:30 rolls around, and Travis is talking about sushi or whatever. Like, the whole sushi shebang or whatever. And I'm thinking, there's no way this could have happened. Like, come on. But it did. Mm-hmm. I mean, it went to a fiance. It just went to the wrong fiance.
That's true.
And luckily, your fiance does not eat sushi. She went out to the neighbor's place.
Yep.
And luckily, you have honest neighbors that didn't take my food.
That's good.
I paid $30, Canadian dollars, too.
Yeah, so that's like $800 in American. It's a lot of money. I just checked the conversion the other day, and I was in shock. I think it's literally like $100 difference or something like that. It's crazy.
Okay.
What?
Are you serious?
Yes.
$1 Canadian dollar? No, the difference is it's not $100.
No, I meant I think I put in the amount of Maybe it was like 90. I think I put in the amount of like 290 in Canadian. It
It's
came
only
like
like a $10 difference, really.
Well,
Because
it
like
came up.
25 American is like 34 Canadian.
Well, let's check this.
I've been following the silver market right now.
The
So.
silver market. Okay, well, you start off. You talk about what you like in a spoilers way, and then I'm gonna pull this up.
Yeah, spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know a lot about X-Men. I don't know a lot about the history or anything like that. And I mean, I do have a few questions I'll pose to Travis after he's done looking up the stock markets here. But it's this movie. I love the powers. I love the visuals. I loved like my favorite part of the movie is probably Magic, and then I can't remember if Human Torch, but he was pretty cool too.
Firestar, I'm pretty sure.
Firestar?
Not Human Torch. Yeah. So
Yeah.
look at this though. $290 American is $380 Canadian. That's $90. That's almost 100.
What is that based off of, though? Aren't you just basing off like $1 Canadian compared to an
I don't have
American
those
dollar?
answers. I just have the answers of what the market is right now.
Well, what specific market is that for?
Google.
Hang on. What does the top say? It says 1.3 Canadian dollars. Okay, so that's only 30-cent difference. $1 American dollar.
not.
No, yeah, but you just got random numbers in there.
No, it's not.
No, but look at the top. Look at the top.
But how come? Sure, but how come American is 290 and then our Canadian's 380?
Because that's all the 30 cents stacking up.
But that's what I mean. So like,
Because you could change that to any amount. If you put $1 in there, it'll equal $1.30 Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, the amount that it stacks up when you get in those big numbers.
Yeah, but that's no. I mean, that's true. But you have to have that much money American. So let's say if you had
unfortunately,
like.
sometimes we do.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, where were you going? You don't know that much about
No,
X-Men or Mutants.
I liked Magic. I liked Starfire, whatever his name is, Firestarter. Those were my favorite characters of this movie by far. I love the weird dudes with no eyes, just the mouths.
Sunspot, not Firestar. That's my bad.
Sunspot.
Yeah, because I'm the same thing. I'm a big X-Men fan, but my New Mutants, and I know not all of them are New Mutants, but this kind of side adjacent adventures of X-Men have never been, not in my forte, just not in my catalog. They've just never kind of gone around. I've always talked about that with Chris. I would love to one day read some on our comic book club we do for Marvel Alliance on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. I'd love to do some New Mutant stuff because I've always heard good things about like Demon Bear and the Bill Sienkiewicz run. I think that's how I say the name.
No idea what you just
yeah,
said.
I've heard like great things about them, but I've just never got around because I'm always behind on so many other comics. So,
I mean, I'll let you go into not your overall, but just kind of your first impressions, spoilers wise, and then I'll start throwing questions to you.
So I liked everything as far as the build up to the powers. I think the beginning was, I don't want to say a tad slow, but I think it did feel, it felt like a while. Like you get a big opening with the Demon Bear. We don't know that's what the Demon Bear is. Like Demon Bear, I know that and the legend of that. But I feel like when that happens, and then I feel like it's a long time till the next stuff sort of starts happening. So I don't know if that's necessarily calm, but I was like, okay, like when are we really getting going here? But I liked that's the other movie. I can't believe I didn't think about non-spoilers, is Glass, because like obviously you have Anna Taylor-Joy who's in it, but it is that same thing of that's different because they have in Glass, it's not spoilers, they have these three people, right? The Beast, David Dunn, and they have Mr. Glass, and they're like trying to convince them that they're not superpowers. Where this is a reverse, where they're trying to tell them they are mutants, and they're trying to harness the powers. I love the setup and the bait and switch, and I think we all knew something was wrong. It wasn't exactly like and I like the little shoutouts that it was. You could look at this, and there is some like shout-outs to Logan, which I'll bring up. You could look at this as a standalone movie of just this happens in the world of X-Men, or you could still place it somewhere in that X universe that did used to exist. I think that there's like little shout-outs to Xavier, and that was really cool, and them saying like, oh, we're going to become X-Men. Like, I thought that was really cool instead of some movies that just choose to ignore it all, which I like. So, and then I love the incorporation of, okay, so they are thinking their lead up is, okay, we're going to go to the Xavier School for the Gifted, but no, not even like a big reveal, but the reveal is it's the Essex Corporation. The Essex Corporation, and I guess I'd forgot about this because there was rumors that John Hamm was going to play Mr. Sinister in this movie, or just an actor was going to play Mr. Sinister. So Mr. Sinister is a X-Men villain / mutant who's all obsessed with cloning, DNA tampering, and the Summers. So he's involved in all of that, and that's what I guess these people are for, that he's just using these genes to create more powers. And if you think about it, that's where it sucks that I'm really bummed I want to see more, because obviously some movies were the greatest, but the SS Corporation was an end credit scene in an apocalypse, and that also is the corporation that was responsible for giving us X-23 slash like Laura. And then the last thing before I throw over you is there's that moment where why am I forgetting our main character's name?
Protagonist
Danielle what was it? Of course, you don't give me that. Yeah, the protagonist. Yeah, but Danielle. So there's that moment where she is being interviewed and everything like that. She has like the headgear and whatnot. I almost have it. Oh no, I don't have it. I'm just giving up. I'm not giving up.
How do they not have it?
They have it, but it's just like because the name keeps kicking off. But let's say it's Moonstar or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, something. Danielle Moonstar?
Yeah, Danielle. Daniel would probably be a male. You never know nowadays. So when they have her hooked up to all the machinery, I don't know exactly because they talk about her powers, but I'm not sure if this was just used as B-roll because we just have the footage, or if it was meant to connect, because it could connect, because Essex Corporation is in both Logan and X-Men Apocalypse, that she has visions, and they literally show video footage of the same stuff in Logan. So it is connected in a way, and that's what I liked even more, so that these just little ties to the lore were like, oh, these are kids that could have ended up in Logan, like those kids you think about in Logan that help them out at the end of the finale. It's almost like they're kind of them. They're these kids that are stowed away and just used for their powers. So I really liked the reveal, and other than the beginning where I thought it was maybe like a tad slow, I thought the pacing for the most part was good, as like getting little nuggets here and there.
What year did Logan come out again?
Like in just like our world?
Yeah.
2017.
And what year was New Mutants announced and revealed?
I can't remember announced and revealed, but I feel like it was also supposed to come out in 2017, if not 2018.
Then I feel like, yeah, because we talked briefly about this when we were leaving the theater. I feel like, okay, they did Logan, and then to kind of carry off, probably as like a successor in that storyline or parallel to it in a prequel sense, but in the same universe, I feel like that's why they chose New Mutants, and they were going to continue making more sequels to this movie.
Mm-hmm. Mirage, is that Danny Moonstar's name? Okay. And Lena Mirage. I feel like I know her more as Mirage than I do as Moonstar, but the name Moonstar sounds familiar. These are all names that I've heard before, but none of them other than Magic and Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane is the one I probably heard the most of, but none of them are the ones that are like, this is one of my favorites. So let's see. It was originally set to be released. Okay, so we keep dating it so much more, but honestly, it was April 13th, 2018 was the very first announced release date.
That's still pretty close to Logan. So they obviously have plans set for this, and this kind of they were breaking away from the main X-Men kind of tradition, and they were turning down to this route. And to be honest, for me, and this is something that I had pitched a while ago for DC, like, I love when, you've got the whole run of these regular superhero movies that we've gotten used to. And
you
then
pitched it to DC.
I did, yeah. When you have these companies decide, okay, we're going to put, like, the main heroes in the back burner. We're going to pursue these alternate films. And that's one of the things, like, I really liked about that DC was doing, because they were diving into, like, Birds of Prey and all these other alternative stories. And for me, this, like, I never got super hyped into the Logan bandwagon, because to me, I've had so much Wolverine, just couldn't really get into it.
It's the send-off, you
It's the send-off, yeah. But for me, this kind of a story, this alternate take in the timeline, I really like that, because, again, that's the kind of stories that I like. And that's why I think I enjoy, like, Marvel movies so much, because they're doing all these other different takes, like Guardians, and you have, like, your Black Panther and your Spider-Man Homecoming, those different parallels to the main story. And it's not just your main Avengers, your main Justice League, and all that kind of stuff, but it builds the universe up from the ground up, and I love that so much. So I'm with you in the sense that the fact that we're not getting any more, unless Feige's generous, but we're not getting any more, so yeah. I'm crushed.
Yeah, I don't think so, because the director said he had a planned trilogy and he had all these ideas and whatnot, because that's what I would like. That it feels like I would eventually love it if these characters end up at Xavier's mansion, but I would want that as like the ending point. I don't even need to see them there. Like, especially when this movie ends and it's just like, where are we gonna go? And they're just walking off. It is a good like, okay, who knows where these characters go? But in my mind, I just feel like there's tons more adventures they could trying to get to the Xavier's mansion or just being on their own. It doesn't feel like right away like, oh, I have to connect. Deadpool doesn't feel that way, but I'm always still like, oh, I really want him to somehow be with X-Men or be with Wolverine. But these characters, just because they feel so different and they're just so, I think I like the idea of, we got that in X-Men, but I think not really, because I think one, sometimes the actors were like late 30s, mid 30s playing these teenagers. These people actually felt young, and it felt like, even though like I think saying that Anna Taylor-Joy is maybe a little bit older than she's playing, it felt like these were still kids, and that's what I liked about it's kind of like the Spider-Man Homecoming, where it's like this still feels like he's in high school. It feels like he's actually in high school, unlike Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So in X-Men, that's why I hope we'll get an MCU, but I feel like we still haven't got too many like really these are the kid characters, and that's why I like, even if they're teenagers, yeah, it does have that like Stranger Things, like kind of what's popular now, like it vibe. But even then, I feel like they're older than that, and I feel like there's subject matter you can tackle as far as like, one guy killed his parents, or one guy killed his dad, so that sucks. One guy killed his girlfriend by burning her to death because it got too hot. Wolfsbane, I loved what they did with her origin story, and like when that priest comes up, that was super creepy. And then I really loved the relationship they had. I think I saw some articles saying it's like the first gay relationship in a movie. I don't think that's true, because I guess if it's to this extent, like, I'll give them this two things. One, Deadpool 2 has that because Negasonic Teenage Warhead with Yuki. But the thing is, this is like full on, like not just like a peck on the cheek and some hinting around. They're just like, and I don't mean like that, but they're full on making out, and they're full on just like talking about how much they care for each other and whatnot. And I thought that was really natural, and it was good because these are two characters that are, alone. Like, I feel like Cannonball, that's the Stranger Things guy. I know Cannonball. He's like secluded, but he wants to be secluded, and he still though is friends with Roberto, and then Roberto is friends with him, but he kind of feels like he's better than all of them. And then Rasputin, that's her last name, because what did we say was her official? Aliana, whatever. So Magic. I'm just gonna call her Magic because that's how I know her.
Is it
that's Colossus' sister?
Rasputin?
What? No. Oh, what is his actual name? Oh my God, that's a stumper. Pete, I think it's Peter.
Peter Rasputin?
Yeah, I think it is. I'm going to look it up. But I felt that all the relationships were natural, and especially, too, because if it's another one like Girl Interrupted, where Angelina Jolie plays like this kind of character that's a bit more crazy than the rest of them in Asylum. And I like that they set Magic up for that, but I don't think they ever went too over the board with it. I thought she was like maybe the unpredictable one, but it did feel like she's been through a lot, and it just didn't feel like I'm super crazy. And then like, okay, I'm relatable. It felt like there was always something on the surface, and that's just, I said this to non-spoilers, but that's just a shout to Anna Taylor-Joy. I just think she's one of the best actresses right now. But Taylor, you make some points so I can find out Colossus' full name. I'm pretty sure it's Peter.
I can't remember the actress's name, but the lady doctor mutant. I like her. She was awesome. She's in Predators, which is a great movie. And
man, I forgot that she was in Predators.
Oh yeah, 10 years ago too. So she's still popping off. 10 years.
Peter, but Peter. Yeah, so I was right.
Rasputin. Boom. Yeah, no, she's popping off. Which is super cool.
A decade later.
But. Gosh, yeah. Other points. I like the characters' chemistry. I like that you could just, not that you could relate, but you could just get kind of attached to their characters and their development. I like how their history was kind of explained as it progresses. The story, it wasn't forced, it wasn't overdone or anything like that. I like how it was just laid out nicely, and I liked how every time the Daniela Moonstar would go under, it would just create these like weird sequences, because that's when it would get super wacky and cool. And like Sunspot, just the whole like pool segment was just super crazy.
It was good because that one got me. That reminds me of like Nightmare on Elm Street, and that's what I like about when you don't know the character's in a dream or not. And I didn't think he was dreaming at all. Like I knew she was under, but it just felt like that was really well done, because that character, that's the good thing. Like, Magic is on the edge, and she's like the crazy one, they kind of say. But like, again, they showed her to have enough of a human side that I could believe that. And just even the way she was like teasing him and toying with him, like, oh, this would be what she's doing. And then she's seducing him, and she's telling him to close his eyes, and then he gets that skeleton on
I
the
thought
back.
she legit just teleported back to the room and left him in there. I was like, what's going? Like, where's
Oh,
this
really?
going?
Yeah, because when I saw her drawing, I'm like, oh shit, that's not magic in there. He's not gonna have a good time with this. And then that girl,
No, he
he
doesn't.
really, if that's the vision of what happened to his girlfriend, man, he really burned her up good.
Oh yeah, he ruined her. There's no comeback from that.
No, he did say, and that was the thing. I thought he was just gonna say he burnt her. He killed her, and that's the thing. Like he killed her. Roberto killed his dad. Or yeah, no, sorry. Cannibal killed his dad. Wolfsbane had that run-in with the priest, but it just seems like I don't know. She's just can't be controlled. She
I
can't.
thought you said cannibal for a second. I was like,
She's a cannibal too.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess I don't know if she attacks and bites anybody. You know, she's technically a cannibal.
Yeah, that priest thing, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like I chuckled, but like when she was doing like her like I'll do 10 Hail Marys and 5 Father B's, and then she leaves, and then like the doors are swinging open. It's like,
Yeah,
I
that
am
was
you, or you're evil, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my good lord.
Yeah, there was some stuff like that was like, okay, this feels a little like B-rate movie horror-ish, and that's where I'd feel like, again, that's why I don't think it's like the most unpredictable movie. There's some things that got me like that pool scene, but I do think like these characters are very much like archetypes of other horror characters we've seen before, taking out the mutant stuff, but I like those type of archetypes. Like I said, it feels like Stranger Things. It feels like a Friday the 13th with cap counselors, where you know enough about them and you kind of get your favorites. I feel like you get more of them in this. Like I said, with Magic, I know like she can teleport between worlds. Her and Rasputin get separated for a while and stuff. Check out Marvel Alliance. We're doing House of X and Powers of 10. She's a big deal. That I think the MCU will use her at some point. So this is where my knowledge of her gets a little ishy. So how did you take the monsters that she feared? What did you think was going on there?
I don't know, because I just assumed that, from what I could tell, my understanding, when she would go to this alternate place, she would go to that place and those things would be there. And she enjoyed going to that place because it was her safe place. But
Oh yeah, I don't think that's it. I think she went there to get away from them.
But why would she go there to get away from them and go back when they're just and hide in this room?
So what I think it is, and this is why if someone knows the comic book origins, let me know, because I know Magic, I know a lot of things, but I'm no encyclopedia. I'd have to ask Chris or Brent. But I think what they're trying to insinuate that those monsters aren't monsters; those were actually just guys. Because like you said, they had the tattoos and they had like these mafia shirts. I think she was like being sex trafficked.
Oh.
And the same way when they say like sometimes kids will do that and they'll put themselves and pretend they're somewhere else. I think that's what she was doing, but they probably thought, oh, you're crazy. That's not real. It's just a kid doing that. But she has the powers to actually do that. Because that's where it's like, I don't think these are actual I don't think she was actually having monsters. That's why to me, like all these monsters, they had silk shirts and they had tattoos and they had like a chain. So I think they were to represent magical figmentations of those men assaulting her. So that's what I took from that. I could be wrong, and maybe that's in the origins, but that's what I think. Especially as a little girl, and like they had the thing where the guy would like walk up and like touch the blanket and try and pull it. It's like, yeah, it is monsters, but that's why I think it's disguised as like it's covering her pain up and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think, and that's where it's like that, and like again another dark moment of like when the priest came in the shower and got Wolfsbane, and then like. It just is like, again, they did a good job at PG-13 and still feeling disturbing, because then when the smoke goes around her and the priest has her pinned down, he brands her again. That was fucked up. That was
I like, it was totally weird, but I'm glad like that we got that scene, because it was able to differentiate. Okay, and it tells the audience that these are. They're not just imaginations.
Yeah.
Like,
they
these
can
will
mess you up.
actually hurt you
Yeah,
physically. Yeah. And that's why, again, like I thought, okay, they'll hurt you. And then when Cannonball was pulling like magic out of the room and like it's not real, I was thinking, okay, like maybe it's not real,
Yeah.
but like no, when he like was coming out, like, oh no, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then again, I found like certain moments like that, I was kind of chuckling, because like when the doctor was kind of like all like scarred up and whatever, she walks out into the hall and they're like, doctor, and then you see the tall slender man walk out and she's like, oh, and she goes the other way, like.
Wolfsbane fucked her up good. Her face was not looking good.
Oh,
in that movie.
yeah.
She was not gonna
Jesus.
like. I guess she might survive, but she would like. Imagine going back to the Essex Corporation. Like, hey, did everything go all right? Then you try to terminate that. Yeah, not so much.
No.
But she was like bleeding from the face. She was stabbed multiple times. But yeah, again, I really like. I thought that was a good progression as far as their relationship. I think they had good chemistry, and it felt like that kind of like coming of age, like teen with a sexual awakening thing of like them in the shower and they're both like curious and whatnot, but it never felt like too sexualized and whatnot. So I liked that. I'm trying to think what else.
I thought it was a bit random at the beginning when she was running, when Moonstar was running and about to run into the wall, the invisible force field, where I just saw the random wolf running behind her.
Well, that was her.
I know that now. Yeah. I didn't know at the time. I was like, where is this? They have like guard dogs? Is the guard dog going to attack her?
Well, that was interesting because I knew you wouldn't know. Like, that's the thing, even some of these people, I don't know exactly their whole powers and stories, but I have an idea of what their main power is. So knowing that, and I thought they hinted around that good because, like, I would feel like, I can't remember what Rasputin said to her of, like, something about going to the X-Men. She's like, why would they want it, like a dog or something like that? And that's why I feel like for you, like, I feel like they give you nice little hints, but they're like also could just be taken as like fun little jabs and whatnot. And like even scenes that like the lie detector I liked, but then there's times where it's like they answer one question, then they get off the machine. Why would you do that? It'd be like, let's do 10 questions. We go through the trouble setting you up. But I liked the little attic hangout, even though there was a camera in there, so that didn't work out for them. What do you think about the Demon Bear? Because he is synonymously linked to the New Mutants, and he's like a popular kind of like classic X-Men sort of villain, or that idea is a classic villain.
I liked him. I thought he was cool. I was really wondering what
all the budget went into him.
All the budget totally did. I was really wondering the first intro sequence, like, okay, what is this entity? Like, this is cool. Like, I'm even terrified, and like seeing like the dad drop and was all covered in ice.
Adam
or
Beach.
whatever.
Did you know who that was? That's the man who played Slipknot.
Was it
Suicide
really?
Squad.
Oh,
it's killed off again.
Boy, no! What is Hollywood doing to this poor man?
Yeah.
God damn it! Oh well, okay, yeah. He is unfortunate he got killed off, but I think the whole intro sequence with Demon Bear was very, very cool. I like that a lot. And the whole like fight scene when Demon Bear just pops in at the end there and just totally just annihilates the Doctor. Oh, that was brutal.
That was a great introduction because it's the first time we get like the full look of the Demon Bear. That was great. He just puts her in his mouth and he's just chomping away and everything like that. And that's where I think most of the action was good. I feel some of the stuff was like on the cheaper side because Cannibal, all of a sudden he would get like fired up and he would like do one big burst and then that'd be it. And he's like, oh, he's all hurt and tired. I think the best though, again, where the budget went through, but I thought the fight scenes were actually good. Anything they did with magic was badass.
100%.
Like I know Roberto has that joke of just like, I'm going to marry that girl one day, but that's where it felt like, and like, oh shit, like that when she does it, and he's like, that's hot. Like it was just so cool seeing her flip around and the way she used powers. And then like, I think maybe they gave her one too many one-liners near the end with the bear. Just felt like every time the bear like, nah, you can't move. But like I was still digging it. It was fine, but I think you could have kind of feel it. But there's some good like she's just face down the bear and like they set up her well as far as like I've killed all these men and she's been labeled as just a killer. So you got to see that come out as far as like, well, I'm going to do, once she got over her fears, I'm going to do what no one else can. And even then she couldn't kill the bear, but she like held it off the best. But all those scenes with her and the sword were really well done.
Where did her pterodactyl come from? Because it was a stuffy and then it was alive.
Well, I don't even know if it's pterodactyl, Lockie. Yeah, it's just like it's always with her. I think one, it's a budgetary thing, but I think it's hiding in that world where she can teleport to, and she just didn't bring it out because if she brings it out, maybe something would happen to it if the Doctor found it. I don't know for sure. Were they trying to insinuate that he died at the end or no? I know it got hit, but we never really got an answer.
I don't know. I just assumed it went back to the
I hope so. Lockie is like a really big like fan favorite because it's always like sitting on her shoulder and stuff like that. So they're like, but I think in this movie it wouldn't have fit, and also just a budgetary thing. And I think he looked like good enough, but that's where I think the budget shows like this creature doesn't look like lifelike, you know?
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I mean, if they killed him off, it doesn't matter because we're not getting any more of these movies. So, but I'm gonna tell myself that he survived because I liked him. I thought he was pretty cool. I was excited to see that he was really alive because when Magic popped in, her eyes were glowing blue, and she had her sword, and she had the Lucky on her
Lockie.
shoulder. I was thinking, wow,
it's like Lock and then E at the end. That's how you spell it.
Okay, I was crushing because I was like, oh my gosh, she's just so badass. So yeah, she's pretty cool.
And that's the other thing too. Like I think some effects were not the greatest, but all the effects on her arm and the sword.
Oh yeah,
that was really good. So I feel like they spent the budget on the stuff that they really want. Because like even like the Slender guys, they look like really CGI. Like they look like the actors are not working with these people. Or if so, they're the green screen suit guys. But I felt like that stuff that you saw a little less of, that's where they spare the budget, like the Slenderman guys or Loki, but then the Demon Bear or this, because the Demon Bear, like, it didn't look realistic, but it looked like realistic for that world, like what they're going for, because it's like a spiritual creature and whatnot. So I think that worked. Anything else to show? I'm trying to think of anything.
I
else.
love the scene where everyone was dealing with these like Slender Men, and Sunspot was just. He had his headphones in. He's just doing the dishes, and I love just
Always the
seeing the
headphones
shadow, because I didn't think I was gonna be one of those men. I thought it was gonna be the burning girl again.
Oh yeah.
So when you just see like the shadow coming, the reflection in like the silver whatever wall, and you just see like the smile, and he's like, "Whoa!" It's just so good. He just panics.
Sorry, podcast listeners.
Oh yeah, I've
Whoa.
spiked the mic.
I'm trying to think, but I think that's everything. I'll be excited to be done podcasting because my voice is going after the past.
Yeah,
year.
Travis, this is his 4th podcast within like
then
24
fandom.
hours.
Fandom was a lot.
Yeah.
That was like 9 hours of full talking. So, yeah, I'm trying to think, but no, my overalls are I really enjoyed it. I'm really bummed because I thought I would like at least like it. I don't think it. I don't know, because when I saw it first trailer, I was like, wow, this is going to be something really special. I don't know if it's like really special. After so many years of being let down, I was like it being delayed, like, okay, my expectations went away. That first trailer was incredible, but even then, it was just like lots of cool imagery and a great soundtrack. So to me, it met my expectations. Did it blow it away? I'd say, okay, maybe it was I would say exceeded, but went a little bit above my expectations. That's what I'd say. I really enjoyed it. It's a movie I said non-spoilers I'll watch quite a few times. I think I like those characters. I don't think we'll see anything more, but I would love to. And yeah, I just think it's exactly what I'd want for it sometimes in a superhero comic book, where it's like, this isn't the biggest crossover event of all time, but it's just the same way as like I'm a big fan of 2016 Moon Knight, and that is Moon Knight just stuck in an asylum. It does like, oh, of course, like the Concho gods are like, hey, the world's going to be taken over by Egyptian magic. But like most of the time, it's just this guy dealing if he's crazy or not. And I like that. For me, that is like one of my favorite comic book movies or favorite comic books. But even just that story, I just like it's a side quest that kind of is off to its side. And that's what I like with this and these characters as far as, yeah, it's not A+. Like I said, I gave it about like 8, 7.5. But it's like a really enjoyable movie. It's like comfort food. And like I said, it's like there's not many, like, what's the other superhero horror movie you could list right now you could put on for Halloween, you know?
Another superhero horror movie? Oh, God. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And that's what I like is we've talked about the MCU doing different genres. Logan did that. Deadpool did that with the raunchy comedy. Logan is like this old Western. Joker is this like psychological thing. So the same thing as this is like a really good horror movie to me as far as like, you know, like I said, I wouldn't put in one of the all-time classics, even horror movies, but just really fun, really enjoyable. And
I feel like in terms of getting a dark superhero movie, I feel like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness would try to aim to be that sort of, but that's if Feige didn't come in and do the old creative difference.
Yeah, I would agree. But do you think like the first Doctor Strange, that's not an October movie, right?
No, I wouldn't give that to the first Doctor Strange.
Where maybe we saw the Batman trailer. The Batman's looking kind of creepy, so that might be it.
Yeah, because so far there's only Christmas superhero movies. There's no Halloween superhero movies.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, no, I think overall, like, I'm very happy with this movie. 9 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it for sure. I stand by that now. And even the score, I like the score, too. Like,
that's one thing I didn't notice at all.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to listen to that again on a second watch or the soundtrack, because I just felt like it was just kind of there. Maybe that's just because for me, the Tenet score that we just saw last night was like a 10 out of 10. Double, triple grand slam, you know, because Louis Göransson, I think that's how you say his name. I heard someone say it. I thought that was spectacular. With this, nothing really stuck out to me. And there's no licensed music either, so.
Yeah, there wasn't, I guess.
No. Well, no, I was completely wrong. It's whenever he has his headphones on, that's the only licensed music.
Yeah.
But non-used as like the soundtrack, so.
Other than that, it's just small things. I liked when the doctor like used the broom and pushed the guy into the pool to cool him down. I liked how she's it's unsettling. She's trying to like be your friend or whatever. And I like her story when she strapped the girl up and she's gonna kill Moonstar, and she's talking about how the dog had rabies. We had to put her down and like she's just.
I'd feel like though the second the doctor was talking about putting down a dog and then she gives the whole story, I feel like that girl should be like, I'm going, you know?
Something's wrong here.
I love to like Wolfsbane, like how many times she was in the vent, and then at that time when she's like popped up, and like I said, I like they had nice little moments. I loved like when her eyes flashed, and like it's just an endearing moment when she just says like, oh, your eyes are beautiful, and she hasn't heard someone say that because she's used to this look being considered horrifying, right? So I loved everything they did with those two.
Yeah, I agree. That was really cool. This thing came off the mic stand.
I feel like you've broken that many times.
No, this is Kirkland's mic.
Wow,
Definitely
Kirkland.
Kirkland's mic.
Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. I think we've done good.
We have. So check out all our reviews. You know what to do. Geekverse.ca. That's where we are. And then all the links are down below. So video, audio, Patreon, the whole shebang. We thank you very much for tuning this and the 3 other reviews possibly. And we promise you next time you hear from us, which will be like a week from now, it'll not be boring.
Bye-bye.